Mm.
Okay, hi guys, how you doing?
Oh,
how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
It's a show.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
This is a very different kind of show.
Yeah, it's
today.
like
it's very different today.
It's a very summer session show.
Summer session vibes for sure.
But we get to do it at the beautiful composer's room instead.
Yes.
So there we go. So when Jessica first told me like, hey, we should really talk about Diddy, I was like, yeah, we should. That seems legit. And then I started doing all the like actual research behind it, and I'm like, holy shit.
I ended up on like a TikTok rabbit hole for a long
didn't
time.
even touch the surface. All the videos you sent me didn't even touch the surface.
Yeah.
That is what's wild about it. It's like all the news that's coming out is like insufficient to me. Like, okay, but I think they're doing it on purpose. Anyways, continue. What did you see?
Well, first of all, before we get into it,
yes.
My cocktail. We gotta talk about our cocktails.
Yes.
Okay.
Jessica, you go first.
All right. So this is the reality check teeny available at Composer's Room that I just made up a few minutes ago off the top of my head.
It's delicious.
And it is vodka, peach schnapps, Chambord, lemon juice, and cranberry juice.
Ooh.
That's it. It's all liquor.
All right. Just like Jessica likes it. I just have a Jack and Coke.
It's pink to match our vibe.
Yes. Mine is Coke to match my vibe apparently today.
I'm also going to be doing a TikTok live later. So, and since I'm going to be making cocktails by myself, who's got to drink them?
Listen, I might have to go on to the live and be like, Jessica, make me a reality check teeny.
Yeah, I probably won't have I won't have peach schnapps. I'm gonna go to the restaurant supply store. I'm not going to the liquor store. I'm gonna use what I already have.
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
So Diddy
the Diddler.
I mean, it's crazy because you look back on all the jokes throughout history, throughout like modern history and movies and like pop culture. And, you know, everyone's like, oh, ain't no party like a Diddy party, blah, blah, blah. And you're just kind of like, yeah, he's okay, all right, yeah. But now, like, it didn't age well.
Well, the
you're just like, wait a minute. They've been trying to tell us
this whole time
for years.
Well, I just gotta say, it's interesting because, like, Aubrey O'Day, she has been saying, she was on No Jumper, and she's been on, even when she was on The Apprentice with Donald Trump, she was like, I worked for Diddy, did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
Don't want to associate
Making the band. Because she was on, so like O-Town was the OG Making the Band, and then like the next one was Danity Kane, and Aubrey O'Day was part of that. And
And so she was like on the No Jumper podcast, which she was in maybe like 2-3 years ago. I want to say, probably 2 years ago now for sure. Like, but she was saying, she's like, Diddy follows me around. Diddy ruined my career. Diddy wants to put all this stuff out. Diddy does this.
Didn't she say he got violent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, he would beat women. He sexualizes women. He rapes women. Like, everything that has come out about Diddy, she has already said. And then, what is his name? Orlando. What is his last name? He was on That's So Raven.
Orlando Brown?
Brown, yeah. He's been talking about Diddy. Cat Williams was talking about Diddy.
Oh, dude, Cat Williams.
And it all came out.
You know what's so funny is that after Cat Williams did that one interview with...
what is his name? I know exactly.
It was a football player.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp, thank you. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. So he did that one interview with Shannon Sharp, and everyone was like, oh, this guy's crazy. He's a good... I mean, I ate it all up. I was like, oh my gosh, tell me more. I need the tea. But yeah, but then I started watching his comedy more, so I was like, he did his job.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were like, oh no, this person's crazy. Like, he's a conspiracy theorist, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out he's telling the truth.
Well, what's really crazy is like the same exact thing happened with Courtney Love and Harvey Weinstein. So Courtney Love was on the red carpet, drunk, high, whatever as hell. And she's
sounds like her.
Right. And she's like, don't go to Harvey Weinstein's hotel room at night. He's going to rape you. And everyone was like, okay, Courtney. And then that shit is exactly
it was true.
And so it's just like, maybe you should believe the crazy people sometime when they talk about big things. But Do we want to get into it?
Let's go.
Okay, so for the people who don't
Buckle
know,
up.
Yeah, seriously. For the people who don't know, November of 2023, Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, came out and sued him for, sexual assault, being beat up, trafficking, forcing her to use drugs, forcing her to have sex with people, like a bunch of stuff.
Was he like, because I look at Diddy and I'm like, is he like the highest paid like pimp in the entire world?
No, those are in Dubai.
Oh, okay.
But he's a part of it though.
Yeah.
Because he's a part of that ring.
Yeah,
those are in Dubai. But like so is he the highest paid? I don't know, because like you got to pay all these people that he's been paying to make sure everyone shuts up.
Yeah.
So there's a level of like, is he really that rich even? Because he's spending all his money. Like he's sending people out to hunt people down in cars and kidnap them.
I'm wondering if there's like a fee, like a membership fee to be part of like the Diddy parties.
No, I think it's
because like there's got to be something.
Well, you bring people. We'll get into that.
Okay.
We'll get into that. So Diddy has been arrested for racketeering, which is such mob shit. And I gotta say, this whole thing is such a typical, like, how Vegas took down the mob is like how New York is taking it down Diddy. Like, they didn't go the normal avenue. They had to do other things. It's kind of amazing. Transportation to engage with prostitutions, male and female. And then also he pled in sex trafficking by force and fraud. He also pled not guilty, and he's facing 15 years to life.
He's over there crying in jail about the accommodations. Like, you're in jail. You're in jail.
Also,
like, you are not in Club Fed where Martha was.
Yeah.
You are in jail because of all these things. The judge is not giving you bail or putting you under a house arrest. And they even offered to pay like $50 million or some shit. Like, to be able to, they like struck these deals and tried to like put a presentation together and about why like it would be okay or better like for Diddy to like be under house arrest, but like they would like he would I think one of the things was that he would surrender all his alcohol, drugs, everything. He wouldn't be able to leave his house. He wouldn't be able to have anybody over, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, I don't trust. Nobody trust. Like after everything.
We'll get into that too, because I'm not going to lie. There is absolutely a lead up into everything they're doing. So the part of New York that is actually put together this thing has a 90% incarceration rate.
Oh.
So that means he's
in there with a lot.
They're serious.
Yeah.
Like that means when they get to that level and like the level where he's at, normally they strike a deal. They don't do that. They don't strike deals. They do 90% conviction rate. I'm sorry, 90% conviction rate.
Oh, okay.
Which means they are found guilty in that conviction rate. So that means this part of New York, which by the way, he doesn't have a home in New York.
No.
So this is why it's so crazy. It's because this part of 90, so they had their ducks in a row. They've had their ducks in a row to set this up. They did not let him surrender to them. They picked him up. Like they would not, when I say they have been so stickler, they have not been agreeing to anything.
It was a great day when his house was raided because we were all just like sitting back going, holy shit. The house is coming down. Hollywood is going down.
Well, and it's just so random because it's like, so the timeline pretty much, let me get my notes. The timeline that we're going to be I'm going to kind of go to the current timeline and then we're going to go back because it talks about the lawsuit. That's why. So in November of 2023, Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, files a lawsuit against him for all this stuff. Which, by the way, she wrapped up in a day. But you know what she did that was extra special? She involved herself in the Adult Survivors Act in New York, which means the statute of limitations
is
completely null.
I watch SVU.
Is completely null and void now. So people.
By the way, I can't wait for that episode of Law and Order SVU.
Right. So the women, so because she did this makes her an MVP, like unbelievable. It gives me chills. So because she's a part of the Adult Survivors Act,
it stops the clock.
It stops the clock, so all the other victims can now come forward. But here is where I think New York said, because listen, everything's coming together, and the lawsuit that her and Little Rod, who's a producer, that's also a big part of this, it's interesting because she does that in November. A few months later, Little Rod comes out with his statement, and then in March, they're searching his house for evidence, which tells me the government said, hey, we got a really good file, Cassie. Let's come together, make sure you're a part of the Survivors Act. They had 4 months to do that raid, and they knew exactly
they were building a case.
Yes,
they were building that case.
4 months.
I can't wait for the Kardashians to come down too.
That one's gonna be weird.
That's gonna. I'm somebody, and it was so funny because again, so she's went and did a deep dive. I just watched a bunch of videos till 4 a.m. one day on TikTok, and a lot of them were Kim Kardashian. Oh
yeah, so
that snake is getting what she deserves.
So real talk, let's go back to the Diddy thing because it is so crazy. But so because Cassie did this, the Adult Survivors Act, everybody gets to now join in.
Right.
The biggest part of New York's indictment is based off of Cassie and Little Rod and 2 other women.
And Kim Porter, right?
Well, Kim Porter's passed away, right?
Yeah, but she wrote a book though, didn't she?
Yeah, but you can't.
Okay.
We're talking about evidence that we can use. And so, because let's just be honest, it doesn't matter who wrote about what. You know what I'm saying? And do you really think Diddy was going to allow that book to be released?
Oh, no.
The way it needed to be. So, so they get to do that. They only have a year to come forward. So they still have another month to come forward. Women still have another month to come forward against Diddy. But Diddy called her bluff and was like, you're not going to do shit. And then she did it. But you know what I find really interesting is that she wrapped up her lawsuit within a day, which tells me she said, I don't want to get involved, but I need to get involved enough to allow these proceedings to happen. And it's such a great thing because it's she's literally saving a bunch of women to begin with, but also she's allowing these people that were raped and hurt in the 80s and 90s to be able to come out now and talk about it and it be against him in trial. It's amazing. Imagine. So another thing that's kind of weird, and this is where a bunch of the Cassie stuff came out. And so after that, a video of Cassie and P. Diddy came out in the elevator spot in a hotel where Diddy was physically abusing Cassie. And that came out in 2016. And it has been proven that Diddy tried to pay off one of the security guards with a bunch of cash to get rid of the video. He couldn't get rid of it for 3 days, and then it disappeared after 3 days. And apparently Diddy's team was calling management and everyone to get rid of the video. So then, and then going back again to 2012, Cassie and Kid Cudi are working together.
How long were they together?
11 years.
Okay.
Yeah. In 2012, Cassie and Diddy were broken up for a short amount of time. She was hanging out with Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi's car explodes.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Someone's trying to tie up loose ends.
Yeah. And so now there's 2 other women that also I kind of feel they're just poking them. Honestly, Cassie's poking them because she did exactly what she needed to do whatever. Little Rod is a producer that he worked with, and he's yeah, this man touched me inappropriately. This man brought sex workers to my studio, brought drugs. The CEO of the record company was there, knew all about it. He also would hire male prostitutes and have them have sex with all of their friends. And Diddy would just be in the corner diddling himself. Diddy the Diddler. Yeah, just sitting in the corner, jerking stuff.
Is that where that came from?
Yeah, actually, I think so. Diddy the Diddler has been around for a while, but man.
So real quick, there was a joke made at work at Jimmy Kimmel's the other day, Brendan, one of our hosts, he was so funny. I was talking to him about all the Ciroc that we need to get rid of, because that was Ciroc is Diddy's vodka.
That's right.
Yeah. So we're trying to get rid of it. We're putting it in like everything. I'm gonna start using it as well, just to like get rid of it.
Yeah.
But Brendan goes, it's probably that vodka is probably just filled with baby oil.
At this point, honestly, I'm
like,
trying to get rid of it.
I was dying.
No.
He's like, yeah, that's probably berry flavored.
I remember Ciroc.
It's probably all just baby oil anyway. I was like,
well, what's really crazy is like I remember looking at Ciroc on like the Girls Next Door had it on their thing because it was like, I mean, it's sponsored.
It was like the new Grey Goose.
Well, like, honestly, it was kind of like I don't want to say the first. It wasn't the first, but it was like a mainstream person was doing alcohol for kind of the first time. And I mean that in the sense of like the level it got of excitement.
Yeah, I think he was he wasn't like the first, but he was the first big.
Yes, yeah, that's what I mean. And also when I say it was fucking everywhere, like early 2000s, it was everywhere.
I don't know if he owns it anymore, but
when he owned it.
But I mean, because Casamigos isn't George Clooney anymore. You know, I mean, it is, but it isn't. You know, like he sold it for $1 billion. And I think Diddy might have done the same thing, but that's still, that name is synonymous with Diddy, just like Casamigos is synonymous with.
Yeah. I mean,
George Clooney.
It is so crazy. Okay, so
I can't wait for this all to go down.
Right. So another thing that's really interesting about this lawsuit is that they have 50 people who are like pretty much testifying that he did this, like for sure testifying.
Yeah.
In this trial that he's like, I saw it, I was a part of it, I was doing whatever. They also have 12 or more people that have evidence, like text message evidence against him that show that he was texting them to do things. Then also another thing that they found, along with the 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube, and a bunch of guns, was a bunch of guns with the serial number filed off. And so now he's got a bunch of guns that have no serial number on them, because he filed them off, which is like so against the law. It's so crazy. So
he has all these like illegal firearms just chilling around his house.
Yeah.
Because they've like filed their, oh Jesus
And
Lord.
then after this, both of his sons got a sexual assault lawsuit as well by 2 other girls.
Yeah.
So now we're really into it. So let's back up a little bit. And one of the women claims that she was 17, and this is early 2000s.
Right.
She was 17, and that she's going through the lawsuit as a Jane Doe. So that means she doesn't want anybody to know her. In all the evidence photos, she blurs herself out. But this is what I find interesting, is that she claims that she was drugged and then she was sexually assaulted. Didn't know about it until a few weeks later, her friend came up to her and said, "Hey, I watched a video and you were assaulted." That's how she found out she was assaulted. And so then she has all this photographic evidence, and to me, it's one of those things, it's like, I don't want anyone else to know my name, but I want Diddy to remember me.
Yeah.
Because it's just like her at his show. Her and him. Like very like innocent photos, but she's like, I want you to remember me, because she gave him like 20-something photos of just her and Diddy just hanging out. Nothing. Like, to me, that's like, show your lawyer this. He'll know who I am.
Yeah.
You know, just spicy.
She spent 11 years just collecting evidence.
No, this is not Cassie.
Oh.
This is some random girl from 2000. From the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, but she was 17.
Okay.
That's the issue with this. Her and her friend were both drugged and sexually assaulted and had no idea about it at 17.
That's insane.
Yes. So then in 2019, don't know if you remember, I'm not 2019, 1999. Jesus Christ, dyslexia is kicking in with these notes. But in 1999, Diddy was arrested with J-Lo.
Oh, I remember that. Oh man, I remember that.
And
god damn. Dude, I remember, oh my god, do you remember when like they showed up at, oh my god. Remember when, okay, so I'm like flashing back to like the VMAs and like J-Lo's like her like Diddy era when she had like, you know, like that white outfit and her hair was like in like the pigtails or whatnot, and she had like the bedazzled like headband or whatever, like at the VMAs, and then that same year, her and Diddy showed up at the Grammys, and she had that plunge line, like neck, like that outfit, and like, oh my God, it's chills. This is all coming back to me. J-Lo's gonna need a lawyer. Oh Jesus Christ! Oh Jesus Christ!
But in that arrest, she admitted to carrying a gun for Diddy.
Oh God!
And guess what's in the lawsuit?
But
in New York, Cassie.
But can you be brought up on charges that you've already been brought up on?
No. Here's the thing. She got out of it, so she's out of it. The thing when we say lawyer up, we're like what most people are saying is because she is going to be asked to come to trial.
Oh, she's probably going to be asked to testify for the prosecution. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But even deeper dive into that could be, I have this. You want to testify? Or do you want to stay silent?
Do you think that Ben knows some stuff? Because I feel like stuff. I mean,
Ben's a part of it.
Because I feel. Because like I feel like okay because
Ben
things kind of things started to kind of like listen after that dumbass movie she made. Things started to kind of foil out between her and Ben anyway. But I feel like it really started to come to a head when like because you would hear like Diddy, like his house got raided, and then you would hear like. The other big thing in the news was Ben and Jennifer, like I mean, do you think?
No, I actually think Ben absolutely knew what was going on. Ben is too much of a party hound to not know what's going on at Diddy's parties.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's like expecting Charlie Sheen not to be on the Diddy party.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah.
He's totally there. He's totally there.
I don't know that.
Where do you think he got his STDs from?
Right? That's what I mean. So, like,
it's true.
What's really wild, like what's really wild is like there's a video now of Diddy in like all white, and he goes out on the balcony. He's like, "Yeah, guys, come on! All the kids have to leave in an hour. We're gonna start the party."
Didn't I see somewhere someone said to make sure that you're not at Diddy's house after midnight?
Well, another thing is more videos that came out than TikToks that I saw. Were like celebrities talking like you never bring a new girl to Diddy's house. You never bring your girl to Diddy's house. And everyone's like, why? Oh, because is Diddy going to take her? Da-da-da. And he, like, everyone laughs it off. No, because Diddy forced everyone at the party to do something.
So Diddy has something on everyone that goes to his parties.
Well, let me.
I have notes for that. Like, let's get into this.
So the thing, okay, so here's the deal. Diddy didn't do a lot of things in the sense of like he paid people.
He had everyone else, like he supplied a venue for all this debauchery. Yes, but
he technically didn't invite the people. He didn't call the venue. His assistant did.
No, I mean like his house was a venue.
Yes, I know. But what I'm saying is like because also they did it in hotel rooms.
Okay.
I mean, he owed one hotel room $50,000 in repairs after one of his parties. So, I mean, we're talking hotel rooms. We're talking.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Seriously. We're talking, but even like, anyways, so they have these parties and he has video cameras set up everywhere. That's why they collected 90 computers, phones, and anything cameras. Because they were trying to get all of the things off of the videos because he records and blackmails people with the videos of them all messed up at these parties. And so, or like allowing people to do things or so celebrities don't talk out against it. Even 50 Cent was
That's what I'm saying. Like you don't, like the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. But like I will have something on you. That's why like a lot of the celebrities are. That's why like there's like a lot of like CEOs and like people stepping down. Like Clive. I think Clive Davis stepped down.
Oh, he's absolutely.
I mean like there's like a lot of like big name CEOs are like stepping down because they know that they're done.
Yeah.
Because Diddy's got all these videos. So, oh God, I think that. Diddy is 1,000% going to be a patsy. I think he's going to spend a lot of time in jail, but I think a lot of people are going to be named. I think this is our October surprise, even though it's not October. And I think because it's an election year, and you know what I mean. There are a lot. You don't think there were politicians at that party?
Oh, absolutely.
Come on.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely politicians at that party.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit afraid. I feel like a few of them are there.
Just, like, put the terminology well too. Like they're called freak-offs, which is kind of crazy. So you have this guy. He's talking about the freak-offs. He has 1,000 bottles of fucking baby oil. But yeah, so the big thing that he's getting charged on is the escorts, because he would hire escorts and transport them internationally and from state to state. So that's the big thing that he's getting. Apparently, racketeering charge is actually kind of easy to get because, like, I could have 4 people and they can go do something and that can be called an organized crime.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot of racket.
But the way this is going about, to me, is just so weird because it's like, oh, Cassie puts out her lawsuit. New York files her. She closes in 1 day. 1 day
in New York.
In
New York.
Well, I don't know about in New York, but New York.
Are we talking about like New York, as in like
the city is suing Diddy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. That was my question. Like New York.
No.
And I'm thinking to myself New York, as in Flavor of Love, New York.
Oh no, I'm talking about New York City. No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, Cassie's thing I don't think happened in New York.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
Cassie's thing did not.
All right.
New York then took the indictment thing and went with it. So New York by itself is indicting her. I mean, indicting Diddy. Pity. I pity Diddy. No, I don't. No, I don't. There's no pity for Diddy. But yeah, no. So they did their thing, which then allowed everyone else to come out. You got these 2 other ladies coming out saying, oh, no. You have 50 other victims in this that have already come out before, and that was in March. Mm-hmm. So they were able to have a bunch of stuff. And like I said, 4 months for them to get, for 4 months for them to have all of that information, to know exactly what they were looking for. There's also charges. They're also saying that Diddy's parties had ketamine, ecstasy, and
1,000%. They have drugs, of course,
of course.
Because you had to keep everyone compliant, all the escorts or all the prisoners.
I'm not gonna lie.
Keep everybody compliant. So of course there were drugs.
90 party drugs is ketamine and ecstasy. I mean, that's a typical party drug.
Yeah.
The date rape drug is not, but everything else is a typical party drug. So that's why. But and after the parties, he would hire doctors to give everyone IV infusions.
Oh, well, that's awfully nice of him.
I mean, because they needed help. Another funny thing that I find is that when they went to go to arrest his said drug dealer, the mule, his name is Brendan Paul. Anyways, the mule, he was walking to Diddy's airplane when they arrested him, and he had cocaine and something else on him. Now, homeboy has only been charged with possession, and it's a felony because he was trying to go out of state with it. But it's just interesting that this poor little white boy, and I say poor little white boy briefly because he played basketball in college. That's all the photos that are coming out about him. But he was, so he was on his way to Diddy's airplane, walking at the airport to Diddy's airplane, and they arrested him. Another funny thing, which I find with Diddy's arrest, is that they wouldn't let him surrender, like I said earlier.
No.
They literally found a way to meet up with him and get him.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. He was not going to be like, okay, I will surrender.
He was. He was.
Well, okay, but I did see videos of him the day before, or the day he was arrested, or maybe earlier that day, or the day before, where he's out Central. I think he was in Central Park, or he was somewhere out in just a park, and he was sunbathing. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong in his life. Nothing's wrong. Well, I'm not gonna, but I think he probably was spending his last day of freedom, like knowing that it was his last day of freedom.
No, his lawyers and him are in Delulu. His lawyers are still in Delulu.
But they came and got it. No, they came and got him while he was, right?
The cops came and met up with him while he was trying to do something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, they bombarded Diddy.
Yeah, but I know, like, yeah, but there were videos of him, like, around the time that he was getting ready to be arrested.
Yeah, Diddy was trying to surrender, and the cops got him before he could surrender because they didn't want him to.
Okay, yeah.
Because they didn't trust him, because when they raided his California home, he popped on an airplane to go to Miami.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, no, because they were like, I remember seeing that he was like out and about, and then like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, like I'm gonna come in at like 9 o'clock or in the morning, first thing in the morning at this time, surrender, blah blah, and I'm like, and it's like, okay, yeah, sure, do that, and then the cops show up anyway, like, no, F you, like,
well, and
I want to come get you because I don't trust that you're actually going to show up.
Will actually show up. Also, what I'm finding is that they're not trying to give him any grace. They're not trying.
When you have that many charges, when there are that many things,
actually, these charges are not that crazy. He only has 3 charges. The charges themselves are not that, like, they're crazy, but like they're just charges.
Right.
They absolutely normally would be held with bail. High bail, but with bail. But they're refusing it, and even house arrest, because he's contacting victims.
Oh yeah, he's like evidence tampering. That's like witness tampering, evidence tampering, all of it. Like that's a federal crime.
They don't even trust him to leave the jury alone.
Oh, I did read that.
Like, they don't trust him for that. He's also, I mean, everything he loves doing, which is the freak-offs, the drugs, the ladies, the guns, and all that stuff, he does from home. So why they want to be able to track everything he's talking to people. If he's in jail and he's on the phone with his lawyer, they have transcripts.
Yeah, well, they can't. So if they put him under house arrest, there's no way to keep him from making phone calls.
Well, and this is why I don't think Diddy realizes how much trouble he's in, because he's gotten away with it for so freaking long. Right. That he's like, oh, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm fine.
Do you think that, like, the videos that he, like, all the blackmail that he has on other celebrities, do you think that they're going to kind of get in front of it and they're going to go to the police themselves and say, listen, I know this and this and this. You're going to find a videotape of me doing this and this. Let's cut a deal.
Yes. That is what they're hoping for. That's why.
All right.
Vegas drama now, guys.
Vegas drama. We have to get into it because this is what our show is all about.
I mean, honestly, Vegas drama. Someone got an eviction notice, and it's real embarrassing.
Oh man. Okay, I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble, but I really need to say it.
Do it.
Never, ever, ever eat at the Planet Hollywood Miracle Mile shops.
Yeah, real talk. It's gross.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't.
Let's just say if the bubonic plague happened back there, all the rats would get to us first. You know, like the bubonic plague.
Those hallways are so infested. Ugh. I've never walked off a job before in my life, but that job.
That's right, you did.
That job, I literally looked myself in the mirror and said, I know my worth.
Yeah.
And I left.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Also, like, you know, when have you ever had to go to the doctor because your hand is infected?
As a bartender, I constantly will cut my thumb, or when you're cutting fruit, you always end up with little cuts, but you don't know it because you end up with lime juice. You don't know it until you end up with lime juice in your on your hands, and you're like, oh god, oh my god, oh okay, and then it heals, and then you're fine. I ended up having to go to the emergency room around Christmas last year. 2 years ago, sorry. It was 2 years ago because I've been working at Jimmy Kimmel's and Vic's for the past almost 2 years now.
Thank God.
Thank God. These 2 jobs have saved my life. But no, I was at Pampas. Don't go there ever. Just don't. Just please, gross. It's just don't do it. But anyway.
Speaking of Diddy diddlers.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure they're paying off people to get their the health department ratings.
Listen, I think a lot of that's going on.
I think because when you walk in there, the amount of like fruit flies that were like, I've never, like as a bartender, fruit flies happen.
Yeah.
They just happen. You can't, I mean,
especially in the drains.
We don't get any evicts, but like, at Kimmel's, we have like the doors open. Yeah. And so like, I mean, it happens and it's like a couple and it's only like for like a month or two during the summer. And that's pretty much it. But like, at Pampas inside Planet Hollywood indoors, you would walk in on the daily and there would be swarms of them clinging to the ceiling, right? Clinging to the ceiling. And then there would be...
which means their little eggs were laid there.
Yes. And then me and Alexis, who works with me now at Vic's, and her and I would be, I think I worked there for like 2 weeks. We would be bleaching the ceiling every night, trying to get all the fruit flies. Right. And then they don't burn the ice every single night. Right. Yeah. So what they would do is they would have like the ice bin full of ice and they would put saran wrap. They would cover it with saran wrap. And then when they did burn the ice, they were like at the very bottom of the ice bin, there would just be dead fruit flies like floating around in the water. Right. And then I know. And this is all going on at the bar. Like, and I mean, I did everything I possibly could to like clean.
But also not your pay grade at that point.
Not my, like, they just need to like light that place on fire and start again. Like, oh my God. So then, then the back hallways, like I said, were like infested with rats, right? So if you had the door open even a little bit, then like the rats would get in. And so we would see like rats.
When you have we would see like rats as family pets,
we would like the rats would like run in and like they'd run into like the bar like dry storage closet or like the server stations, and so it was so gross that like one of my girlfriends got me a job there. She's actually at Old Red now, but she left before me, and I was like, if she's leaving, I'm leaving. And then a couple other people left right after me, and they are both with me now at Vic's, and one of them is also with me at Jimmy Kimmel's now. So we're all family and we all work together. And so so when Ocean One, when there was an eviction notice on Ocean One, my first thought was,
because they were open the day before.
Well, yeah, but I thought maybe something was
like gross.
Something was gross.
Yeah.
But the other thing it could have possibly been was, oh, by the way, you haven't been paying rent for the last year. I guess I don't know. Like,
honestly, I feel like you got 2 months of not being able to pay rent at those places, and they're going to replace you.
Like kind of like that. Yeah,
maybe.
But like, wasn't there was that one the beauty bar on Fremont? Like, remember a couple years ago that they were served with an eviction notice because the landlord didn't like what was going on.
Yeah, I was about to say they were.
So that's another. But... So like that's a whole other thing. So like to me, if you're gonna be served an eviction notice like that, it's either money or something health code or something nefarious is going on.
Didn't you say, maybe I'm framing this, didn't you say that they're already reopened?
They're reopened. So
sounds like someone owed some money.
So the very next day, yeah, but I thought they like changed the locks and all that. Yeah, so no, the very next day there was a notice like the very next day, and it was so funny because like when that eviction notice happened, I saw it on TikTok, and then I saw it on TikTok, and then I saw it. I saw it on TikTok. Then I saw it on the Vegas bartenders page, and then Sam Novak posted it, and I was like, oh. Like this is not a good, and like Ocean One. I mean, I never like there was always a line to get in, because they had a really good. It's literally right around the corner from Pampas. It's like here's Pampas, and then Ocean One is like right over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of like venue is it? Like it's just a restaurant or is it like a nightclub at all?
It's a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
It's like a big giant restaurant. They've got a lot of great
But
their cocktail specials.
Gotcha.
They've got really good happy hour, like their happy hour specials are good. Their breakfast specials are good.
Yeah.
The food's not that great, but to be on the strip and like the deals, I think somebody said that their profit margin is like $3 a head, so it's not really a lot.
Okay.
So that probably had something to do with it, but
could you imagine opening a restaurant and like the rent there? Like, what do you think the rent is? Because what did Silly Boy say the rent was by Old Red? Because for that one place that opened for a few months and they had a shut down.
Redneck Riviera.
No, it was the one.
Oh, the bourbon, the jazz place, the New Orleans, like the bourbon bar, whatever it's called.
When we were talking about it, he's like, yeah, rent's like $75,000 a month in that place.
Okay. No, yeah, but also, no. It was Fuel Bar. Their rent, because they had to keep paying their rent during the pandemic. Everybody had to keep paying rent during the pandemic, and so Fuel Bar, like that rent was like. Oh God, it was like a few hundred. It was like $100,000 or $75,000 to $100,000 a month kind of thing.
Well, and then I imagine, okay, so what's in Planet Hollywood? Because it is, kind of like a certain area. So easily the rent was $100,000. Easily. Could you imagine making $100,000 you have to make in the restaurant world? Oh my God, that's pressure. Yeah. Mainly because I don't know if I could sell $20.
I mean, Fuel Bar was like a mini carnival court, except for obviously no live music. So,
but I'm talking about like Planet Hollywood, like how much their rent is, and then they're probably a few months behind.
Oh yeah,
I could not imagine.
I mean, like, so there are restaurants like, oh God, one time Dylan and I went to the Planet Hollywood buffet. How was that? I was so sick for 2 days. Like I was so sick, but I didn't know that then.
Of course not. Yeah. This was a long time ago.
And then I just don't.
I used to love Planet.
There are restaurants that you could probably like the ones that are over closest to like the strip, like where Rock House was, or like what's that other place? That's kind of like a like Rainforest Cafe's over there, and I like them. That other one that's like a Hooters, but it's like a lumberjack. Blondie's. No, I wouldn't even go to Blondie's. There's no way I'd eat at Blondie's either. Blondie's is right in the middle of the Miracle Mile, just like everybody. It's like right across from. Yeah, I wouldn't even eat it. I wouldn't even eat it at Salsa Cantina. Like I wouldn't even eat there.
Oh yeah.
Like I wouldn't eat any of. I wouldn't even eat at Flights. Like I would not.
Would you eat at the pretzel stand?
No, I wouldn't eat anywhere. But the places that are over by ironically, the places that are like on the second floor, like the Rainforest Cafe, away from everything, that face the strip, I'd probably go eat there.
So the Taco Bell's okay.
Yeah, I'd totally go to the Taco Bell. I would actually trust the Taco Bell more than I would trust the restaurants.
Well, I expect getting the shits from Taco Bell, so.
Yeah, but I mean, they have all kinds of other stuff.
It's to be planned.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know. That's crazy. It's just like one of those like, oh wow, that was embarrassing, but. I
just wouldn't.
That's just what happens. Don't go to Planet Hollywood.
Don't go to Planet Hollywood.
It used to be my favorite. It's gone real downhill since Chris Angel.
It's really I know they're trying to like do some like
ever since Brittany left.
Honestly, as after Brittany left, that shit has gone downhill.
First Betty Page left. It became, you got rid of my vintage clothing store, and then you got rid of Brittany.
It's like,
and you brought in Chris Angel.
Like,
what did you expect? It's the new Circus Circus. Oh no! Is it the new Circus Circus? It might.
Yeah. It's the Planet Hollywood, really. So I went to All Red.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I went to Old Red on Friday. I saw Des Hostin and the Longwood Band.
How was that? You haven't seen Des in a while?
I have not seen Des in a very long time.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time that I had seen him in years. I mean, like, I saw him randomly one night at Gillies. He was like, oh, hey, Jess, waved to me from afar, but that doesn't count. I haven't seen him actually perform in a really long time. Mm-hmm. And so I went with Dylan and Grace and Kenton and Michelle. Ooh. Michelle has tickets to the Eras tour in Miami. Oh, I know, what a hooker. But it was so funny because I hadn't seen Kenton in a really long time, and Kenton if you ever see videos of me basically doing like some Dancing with the Stars shit in the middle of Gillies, Kenton is leading those dances. He's really, really good at that. And I think he even auditioned for that. But so Des Hostin, I love that man. He's such a good dude. He's been on the show. He was on the show a while ago. I think before you joined, or you might have been gone.
I was gone.
You were gone.
No, it was before me.
It was before you. It was before you. He did the show.
Not much before me, but before
it was about 5. Yeah, no, because it was about 5 years ago. So yeah, Des used to be part of the Voodoo Cowboys, and then he.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that.
Voodoo Cowboys. I know. I used to be like, oh my god, do you guys know like the lead singer of the Voodoo Cowboys? Like, oh my god, like Des Hostin. Here we are, 5 years later, and I saw him with his new band, and they are crazy. Like they.
Well, he was always crazy.
He was always crazy.
I mean, he was doing the electric slide, singing, dancing. You know, I mean,
he did like Sweet Home Alabama, and he mashed it up with All Summer Long from Kid Rock, which a lot of people do, but. He just kind of goes like balls to the walls.
He tries to get the crowd going, and it works every time. I'm not gonna lie. Is he still the same crazy man?
He's the same crazy man. He threw in some Britney in there last night.
Right.
I don't know if he like Des. I don't know if like this is something you like do on the regular, or you just did because my ass was sitting right there. Because we've known each other for a very long time, but. You know, he's a great performer, and you know what I've actually kind of noticed? So he's like a big YouTube star. Like he posts, I don't know, because this is what I was told, because Des sang his original song, and Kent and Michelle were like losing their mind. Like they were like, oh my god, this is the original song. He's got an original song. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like listening, like this is actually really catchy. And but then I saw some people, like I saw these two guys that were like singing along with him, just like jamming out.
You're like, how do you know this song?
And I'm like, how do you know this song? Like I'm like sitting there and they're like on the dance floor just jamming out. I'm like, how do you know this song? And Michelle goes, oh, it's pretty big on YouTube. And I'm like, oh my god.
Why?
Because I remember
it's got like 20 million views.
I remember like Des and I like have our own little history like 10 years ago, and he would like I remember when he was like putting videos on YouTube and he was building it. So I guess we have a chance, Cal.
We got a chance. We just got to like 5 more years.
But you know, and so I was like, what the hell? And so congratulations, Des. I love you. But the thing is like, also I've noticed that he has really been working on his voice. His voice is 1,000 times better than when it was when he first started. He has been really working on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this and it might be a little controversial, but just again, I love you. Just I love you. We're good. But he performs like he's more famous than he is. And
again, love you. Been saying
love you.
Steven and I would be
one of my favorite performers we have in town for I swear to God, and I'm not just saying that. Like I love the shit out of him.
You know what though? Maybe he is more famous than we realize.
Maybe he's more famous than we realize.
Exactly what he needs to be, but he's a YouTube star.
Like if somebody came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, you're just from Reality Check," I would lose my mind. I would walk around. I would walk around like I was Calethea, and I would just sign autographs. So like,
it would go to my head. And that's all you.
It would go to my head the first thing. So. You know what?
Oh my God,
good for you, buddy. Fucking good for you, buddy. We love you. We love you. And you put on. I know I lasted like one set. He gave me a bit. Like I walked in, and I was like, because I saw him a few weeks ago, like right before I left for London. I was at Old Red for Battle of the Bands, and I was like cheering on like Mike Gunn, and so I was like, okay, well, and then all of a sudden, like this other band from LA shows up. And the lead singer looked just like Des, and we're all at this table like next to the stage, just laughing hysterically with each other because we're like, why does that guy look like Des? Like, why is this guy dressed like Des? Why does he have a cowboy hat like Des? Why does he have long hair like Des? We're like, why is this guy Des but not Des? And then a few minutes later, Des walks in the door, and I was like, Des, and I walked up to him, and he gave me this big hug. He's like, Jessica Jones, what are you doing here. And I was like, Des Huston, what are you doing here? Because I thought you were on that stage right there. And he's like, well, that's why I'm here, because people were like, he was sent me like, he showed me like text messages he was getting of people that were like,
you have to go see
people, yeah, so people were like texting Des like photos of the guy that was like on stage.
That's so funny.
And so Des is like, yeah, I'm here to see this lookalike guy. Like it was so funny. And so but yeah, that was like really like the first time like I really like had a conversation with him in like years. Yeah. So then I get off work and I was gonna go home and change because I figured I had some time, and then Dylan's like, no, we're on our way there now. I'm like, all right, well, I'll be there in 2 minutes because I work next door. Yeah. And so I walk over, and as I'm walking in, there's Kenton, and Des is right there. And man, did I feel so VIP because there was like
everyone there was.
No, dude, because Dylan and Grace were still in line. Right? Oh. And I walk up and I'm like, you know, and I don't know, because they moved the line like somewhere else instead of it being over here. It was like down this way.
The line was pretty stupid.
Yeah, no, so I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So I walk up and the first person I see is Kenton, and then Des is like, Jessica Johns, and he like gives me this big hug and he's like, they're with me. And then you see Dylan and Grace going, what about us? And Dylan's like, oh, and Des is like, they're with me too. And like,
that's funny. They're like, this was our idea. Yeah, why the hell did we got paid to get in?
But I'm me, so like it's totally fine. No, it's okay, guys. They're totally with me. They're totally with me. Like, yeah, I got my Old Red shirt on. It's so funny because like the first time I went to Old Red, I was not impressed, but now you can't keep me out of that place.
You weren't? You didn't talk. All you did was talk about Old Red when you first went.
I wasn't impressed with it because we, didn't get service. We barely got, that's right, the food wasn't that great. Like, it was a shit show the very first day we went.
Your girl's on TV.
Tay-Tay?
No.
Oh, Caitlin Clark?
Yeah. Sorry.
You know what? Okay.
That was my
oh my God. Controversial opinion. Angel Reese and her doubles have to stop. Well, first of all, she broke her wrist or whatever, or like she's out for the season. She's out for the season.
Well, the doubles are stopping then. They're done.
Angel Reese goes in for layups, misses her own shots, and then rebounds them, and then gets credit for those rebounds.
Participation trophy.
It is annoying. And then everybody's like, okay, and she's better than Caitlin Clark. No, she's not.
Actually,
Stop. She's not. She's not. Stop it.
Yeah. No,
I love Angel Reese because she's an LSU alumni and I love LSU, but Jesus Christ. No.
I think they just like starting the drama because the WNBA is slowly becoming popular.
Yeah, but now it's kind of back on a decline because football season.
There's too much drama.
No, that too, but also football season started.
Oh, yeah.
Just like how we're like right now, I was thinking about it today and I was like, oh man, I'm like on Sabrina Carpenter TikTok and I'm like watching the Short and Sweet tour, but like as soon as like mid-October hits and the Eras tour starts back up, we just go back to that.
I saw Sabrina Carpenter's ticket prices. I was like, oh, we really took a lot of information from Tay-Tay, didn't we? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, girl. Sabrina Carpenter, please come and see us.
Yes.
But anyways, all right. Well, that was our show, guys.
Oh my goodness.
We had so much. Diddy Diddlers. We had, we talked about evictions, and then we had a good time at Old Red.
Yeah, had a great time. Thank you, Brett, for coming back. Yay!
2 out of 2.
Yes, thank you. 2 out of 2.
All right.
It was week 3. Thank you so much. Thank you, Phil, for making my reality check martini. It was delicious. Thank you. All right, and we will see. Oh, I doing a live tonight. I guess this is probably doing a TikTok live tonight. Doing TikTok live tonight. I'm gonna be just getting drunk at home, making cocktails with all the liquor that I have. What is your
TikTok handle so people can find you?
My TikTok handle is JessJohns _reality check LV, which is the same as my Instagram handle. Yep. I thought about doing Instagram, but I only have like 1,200 followers, and on TikTok I've got 17,000. So let's
take some clips so all the nice people at home can see it, because this will be a week old.
I know. As I said that, I was realizing it. But anyway, all right. Oh! This weekend is Paige's birthday. It's Paige Strafella.
Oh, right. We're gonna party on
Friday. It is Paige Strafella's birthday. Yes. So
I'm having a new dress and everything.
Callie is making her Tuscany appearance. Oh my God!
I'm gonna be ready to beat
I'm gonna head over there after work. So we will definitely be talking about that next week.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, so much good stuff. It's almost the end of September. We're getting into spooky season, so it's gonna be fun.
All right.
Well, we'll see you guys next week, guys.
Bye.